Welcome back. I don't even know the name of the show yet, but obviously I have my big bro Brandon here. We were connected through, I guess before you would say unusual ways, but nowadays, LinkedIn is a hub for people to connect. I will admit that a lot of times I'm thinking that it's maybe 1 out of 10 if you're lucky, 1 out of 10 connections you actually connect with. But you've been locked in with me. We've been locked in together, and it's appreciated. And being able to do something with you now on the world stage, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. So Brandon Standley, tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe you can give them the story of how we were able to connect, but more importantly, what we're doing here. As we learn from each other, as we do in our normal conversations, and that's where a lot of this started. We have great conversations, text messages, and whatnot. And why not share that with the world? Bring some other people in to share their perspective. So, on that note, I'm going to stop talking. You know that I can go off on my tangents, but for right now, I'm going to give the ball to you, and let's see what you do with it. So, I'm giving you the ball. You take it wherever you want to take it.
Yeah, David, I appreciate the opportunity, man. This has been a long time coming. And I think the first time I ever saw, this is going to crack you up, by the way. The first time I ever, I think, joined one of your podcasts on LinkedIn, you were wearing this very unique hat, and you wore it probably like 5 times. I'm sitting there going, what does that hat mean? What does that hat mean? And it was your cash cow hat, if you know the one I'm talking about.
That's my
I
favorite
want that hat. I want that hat. So no, that's how I, one of the things. And as I started to listen to you and really enjoyed your daily pod or your weekly podcast that you do, and found myself fascinated that you and I are so like spot on, like-minded. And then every so often, what I found very cool is that you were challenging the viewers and the listeners to kind of think outside the box on, you have a very good way of asking questions and challenging people to get outside of their scope of what they believe in and kind of think differently. And I appreciated that a lot. And so before I knew it, I was like sucked into your podcast world and just loved it. And I still join you as often as I possibly can. But this vision that kept coming back to me time after time was that in my world, I live in Ohio, and I'm a small business owner. I own my own consulting firm that I call Trusted Elite. And this come after 28 years of being in policing, lots of experience. I spent last 12 years of that career as the chief of police, and all the ups and downs and the pressure and the stress and all that. And then I found myself in this unique position of taking all of those experiences and helping young people. And my passion for all of that kind of lived out through my own children. I'm married. I've got 3 kids of my own. They're kind of all grown now, very successful. And when I look back now at what did I learn through all those experiences? Why am I sitting here right now talking to David Caldwell? And I think what I learned from you and what I learned from some of your viewers was that, man, we are so much more alike than we are different. And the stuff that's out there on the internet, the stuff that's out there on TV or the radio that will tear our country apart are the very things that I found ways to work around and have a passion for, that drives people into making bad decisions or lacking the support, lacking the love that they need. And so I began working with young people. Oh my goodness, I've been mentoring young people for probably 15 years or more. I actually had a youth group when I was a high school senior, and with a local police officer who became one of my close friends. And we did that for a couple years, and then I went off. I got my bachelor's degree from Ohio State and went on and got my master's degree from the University of Cincinnati, and then found myself just falling back in love with helping kids and young people that were struggling. And so when I saw a little bit about your background, and there's others that I've met on LinkedIn, what I found was every time I jumped on a Zoom or a phone call with a college or pro athlete some of the local high school kids would talk as well. Everybody kind of has a similar story where, hey, I'm successful because of this. And they may list 3-4 reasons why they were successful. But then we drill down as far as, well, hey, why aren't you doing that anymore or whatever? They also have very unique stories. And I was fascinated. I was just like, again, I was kind of sucked back into it, thinking, my goodness, there is a way forward that we can help so many people dig themselves out of a hole. And when you and I first communicated about this idea, it's been a long time ago, I think, just mentioned it to you maybe in a text message or something. I was in a different place, you were in a different place. And since then, I've just met literally dozens of people that are in their own type of situation, their own type of predicament, and some of it's really good. You got athletes that left college or pro football or whatever, and they're going on to own their own businesses and they're doing really well, while others are still struggling to find a league or whatever. And what you really get into then, as you know, David, is the pressure and the stress that no one's talking about. They work their butts off. They're in the gym every day. And so, along the way, this vision that I had and joining up with you was that you've got that background, you've got that professional background in playing professional sports, but also I've listened to you long enough. You have that sense of reason. You have that sense of understanding. And so between us, what I hope that this show becomes is we've got some upcoming interviews that we want to do, bring some guests on. And I think as the other viewers and so on start to listen to what I've been listening to and some of the stuff you've been listening to for quite a while, and the folks the stories are going to start aligning. And before you know it, I think what this is going to become is probably a platform for how do we fix some of this for people, number one. Number two, let them know that they're cared for and appreciated no matter where they are, no matter what their circumstances are. Maybe give them some advice from just our own experiences. But that's it, David. I mean, it's not a tough thing, but the toughest part was getting my AirPods to work and my audio to work for today's show, David. That's what the toughest part was.
Yeah, sometimes the wireless technology doesn't operate well or has a little delay, but no, you were fine. And first and foremost, thank you.
Yeah.
And I want to let the audience know that we would not be here, they would not be listening to us, and not just for listening to what we're saying now, but where this is going to go. I'm confident that this is going to be something that can really bring community together and help a lot of people. So thank you first and foremost for that. And yeah, everything that you said, I 100% agree with. And it's these conversations that are going to bring a lot of us together. And I think we are surprised because we grow up in such a society where it seems like, okay, when you first go into, everything's separated by what sport you play. Then it could be by race. When you get older, people try to have you look through the lens of everything separated by race. So you think that diversity means one thing when actually you bring all different types of people from all different types of backgrounds. And that's the benefit, all different thoughts, perspectives, lived experience, whatever they're saying nowadays. When you bring those people and put them in the same room, it allows you to, first, like, drop your guard, drop the ego. And then you just want to understand people. You want to understand because you realize that, look, there's the majority of people out here want to do good. They want to help people, and they want to be put in a environment that brings positive energy rather than preying on their fears and negativities and insecurities. So we're fortunate both, I think, to be around some great people. And it's like, who are we to not share all of our amazing mentors, mentees, because you learn from both. This is the people in our life. Who are we to not give them a platform to be able to teach, bring people together, and for everybody to benefit from it? Because that's really been my biggest, if there is a cheat code, that's been it, being able to have people from all different backgrounds come together who just want to help me. And that's how I see you, big bro. So I'm happy to be here.
Likewise, and again, I just consider this kind of one of these opportunities that comes along in your life, and either you grab it or you sit back and you complain about it later. And that's one of those things I've learned, kind of the hard way through, making decisions in your own life. And realizing as you get a little bit older, my goodness, if I'd have done that 5 years ago, where would I have been? And so this is one of those things I wanted to, get into this and just see where it takes us. And I've talked to so many folks that, some may not want to be on the podcast, but their story behind the scene is so similar to everything that I've heard from others. And by just sharing that, letting them get their own words out there so that people know, hey, I played my high school, college, some that we may speak to were in the pros. Some were somehow injured or got lost in the COVID era. I don't know how many countless people I've talked to that lost years of their ability to be on a team just because of COVID. They got back from COVID, never stopped working for their dream, but then all of a sudden, no team remembered their name. And so that's a lot of pressure. That's a hard thing to swallow when you've been working your entire life for those goals. But, David, we also talked about bringing on some business folks as well at some point that have also, in their own way, they may not be an athlete, but they have lived through some things and they've worked through some problems and now very successful. And I think as I've talked, I was just on the phone with somebody earlier today, same thing where they started out, they were an athlete, ended up in business, failed a lot, but then lo and behold, just by the grace of God and the grace of luck and good fortune, they've surrounded themselves with the right people. And so I think all these common things that you and I know to be true, and that you talk about often on your show, is exactly some of these same principles, these same values, no matter where you're at in the United States or around the world. If I can, David, I'll leave you kind of with this story for today's part.
Please.
Yeah, this is great. You and I had met through LinkedIn, and I will tell you, just by happenstance, I saw this one young man's bio, and it kept popping up. And so finally I reached out and I just thought, okay, I'll see if we can connect. And he is promoting youth golf, of all things, youth golf. And he's changing the lives of young people in the country of Uganda. And so we jumped on a Zoom just a few months ago, and just incredible. And he is in his own right, lucky to be alive, lived through some really challenging times in that country and in another country. I think that his family fled to Uganda actually to avoid persecution in the country they were in. And so just listening to his story alone, I realize how lucky and blessed we are, David.
It's perspective, right?
Oh boy.
Perspective. A lot of times we live in such privilege here, and it's like wherever we are in life, not that you got to look down and say, well, somebody's doing worse, but no, there's people that would literally risk everything to have the opportunities that we have, to have maybe the family that we have. A lot of times we focus on the negative to where we can't even put out the right energy to receive back the right energy because we're so focused on the negatives that we're putting that out and then we're getting it back. Focusing on the positive, understanding like there's people that would give anything to be in the opportunity, to be having the opportunities that we have. And it's like, what do we have to, what else are we put on earth for than to be positive, live by that golden rule of treating others the way that we want to be treated, seeing the best in every situation that we're in, and just moving according to that, every day, just adding on. That's the purpose of all this. If that's not the purpose of all this, then I don't know what is. And we all need those reminders to talk to somebody, just like you talked to your friend in Uganda, to kind of put things back in perspective, to kind of maybe humble us out a little bit, remove some of that ego that gets in the way of us sometimes having as logical of a thought as we should. But that's an amazing story. We got to get them on. We got to get him on. What's his name again?
I know. His name is Isaiah.
And,
okay. Yeah. And I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but
we got his first name, Isaiah. I shouldn't have put you on the spot with the Isaiah, but you got it. You got the Isaiah. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And great guy, very, he has this vision and you know, he's got now, just based on LinkedIn, he's got some sponsorships here in the United States of people sending him golf equipment from the U.S. To sponsor those kids, and so that's the quality work. That's God's work, in my opinion. And youngsters out there, he'll post photos all the time from the golf course they're on, and he started out there as a young boy, and trying to just earn some money for his family, and then became eventually he took over this youth golf vision in his head, and it's panning out. They bring families together that didn't know anything about golf, and he's using that sport to just give them goals and give them something to look forward to in that community that is impoverished. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a great story. He would love to be on this show.
Wow.
Strong African dialect. I love it. And he's a great guy, great person. And we stay in touch. He sends me messages quite often. So I'm sure he would jump at the chance. He apparently he has contacts here in the U.S. through the PGA. So someone along the way, he's been connected. And so I'm grateful, because that's the type of story that should be supported by anyone, anywhere. We need more of it.
I agree. He's a hero.
Yeah, he is.
He's a hero. That's what he is. That's all I'm hearing. So anytime you can let him know that I'd be honored to come on here, interview a hero, learn some lessons. You talk about, we learn lessons by going through certain things, right?
Yep.
And I'm almost hesitating to say we go through stuff when you compare it to what I can imagine maybe him and his family have gone through. So for him to be able to get up every day and give back to his community and create something and build something just based on that vision. Yeah. I'm sure he can give us a lot of gems, man.
Yeah. A lot of gems. No doubt about it. And that's just one of many, David, that I think that we are going to have on the show. I think we need to ask our audience what the title of this show should be, but
I like that.
I've got some ideas floating through my head. I don't know exactly.
Don't put them out there. Put them out there. You got to give the audience, sometimes you got to give them some options. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Well, one word, you said it earlier. One word is perspective. That could be a powerful title for a show. I had one earlier today, and I don't know if it's going to come back to me. It's almost like you want to see perspective, perseverance. That's it. Perseverance. Reality or something along the way of, allowing people to tell their story in a real way. It's not fiction. This is real stuff. And then growing from that, encouraging our viewers to grow from it. And, I learn from you all the time. I mean, you just have a way of saying things. Oh, I do. I mean,
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, they could call us the odd couple, David, but that's not true. That's not true.
What's funny? As you said perspective and perseverance, right?
Yeah. That's
so
what
I'm thinking. Like, even where my mind goes, my mind's always going somewhere. Two peas on a pod. You know what I mean? Because it's two
right
peas. The perseverance. You got the perspective on
I
a
love
pod.
That.
Two peas on a pod or something.
That's
I don't know, something like that.
I love it. That's
you see what teamwork
right.
does? This is an example. This is how you form masterminds. You get
That's
people
exactly right.
with a common goal, working together, building together, removing anything that does not align with the actual goal and purpose, and we build.
Man, I love that right there. You just did it. I love it.
We did it. See, there you go.
That's great.
Done. And then, of course, we'll let you guys can chime in as well if you have some good ideas.
Yeah,
we'll consider those as well.
Absolutely. Well, I know you got to run, and man, it's just been great to connect, and I am so excited for where this could take us, and just giving people a platform, like I said, and we don't, goals. I don't know. I don't know. I think goals we've kind of stated a few, but to each person that's interviewed on the show, I think they're going to walk away with their own set of goals, and they may want to say something about their business. They want to plug a business. That's fine. That's fine. And that's what it's all about. Let them show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more importantly, it's how did you get to where you are now? What did it take? What was your family life like? Whatever they were willing to share. And that's the beauty of doing this, David.
I love it. We want to give the audience as well as ourselves inspiration, but also the people that come on, let them feed off of it as well. We want them to get inspired with some new goals, with just how they're impacting all of us. So I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Me too. I really appreciate you having me on, and I think I can't wait for the next one.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, we'll see y'all soon. Definitely share this with everybody in your family, friends, anybody that you think would get some value from it. We're excited to continue having these conversations with you all. So on that note, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right.